Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, one of the greatest kings in history. What happened after he died? Today, we're gonna find that out. So without further ado, let's begin. Namaskar everyone, welcome back to another video on I Love History. My real name is Shreyansh Tiwari. And okay, let's start. 3rd April 1680, it was an unfortunate day because this day Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj died. How did he die? Due to typhoid. So that was really unfortunate, but let's get to know a bit of background before this. So everyone knows his son Sambhaji Maharaj. So during 1678 to early 1680, Sambhaji Maharaj was actually in the Mughal camp. So there's a debate. Some people say that he actually got angry because he wasn't like the Marathas weren't giving him the opportunity to go to war, and like his stepmother Soyarabai, she was not a good stepmother to Sambhaji. She wanted her son to be the king, even though her son was 11 years younger than Sambhaji Maharaj. But so she wanted her son to be the king instead of Sambhaji Maharaj. So she was always mean to Sambhaji and always spread rumors about him, and all the ministers were on her side. And Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, he was busy fighting wars, expanding his nation, so he couldn't do anything about this. So that's the first theory. So that's why he got angry and went into the Mughal camp. But then he realized that the Mughals wanted to kill him, so he returned. And the second theory is that it was a plan of Shivaji Maharaj and Sambhaji Maharaj, that Sambhaji Maharaj would go into the Mughal camp and get all their secrets, and that would be an advantage. So whatever happened, Sambhaji Maharaj returned, and this gave this paved the way for more rumors for Soyarabai to spread, because she was like, this guy's a traitor, he went in the Mughal camp, etc., etc. So when Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj died, then Sambhaji Maharaj was at another fort in the Maratha Empire. So Soyarabai was in Shivaji Maharaj's fort, and she didn't let Sambhaji Maharaj know that his father had died. And she immediately, after Shivaji Maharaj's death, crowned her own son, Rajaram, as the Chhatrapati of the Marathas. So that's what she did. And then Sambhaji Maharaj got to know about this. He was obviously angry on this. So he decided he had to do something, but Soyarabai had sent her brother Himbirrao Mohite, who was, by the way, the Senapati, means the leader of the army, a commander general of the Maratha Empire, and with a few ministers and other generals, to capture Sambhaji and bring him to Raigad, which was the capital of the Marathas, where Soyarabai was right now. So Himbirrao Mohite and a few more of the ministers generals, they went to capture Sambhaji Maharaj. But over there, before they would fight, Himbirrao Mohite switched sides and he chose Sambhaji Maharaj. Do you know why? Because Sambhaji Maharaj was the heir to the throne, and he deserved it. He was capable to be the Chhatrapati, and he did show that capability later on. But Himbirrao Mohite, he detected that ability in Sambhaji Maharaj and decided that I am going to support the right heir. And Himbirrao Mohite is 100% right for doing this. So over there they captured the other generals and ministers instead who were loyal to Soyarabai. And then Himbirrao Mohite, Sambhaji, they went with the army to Raigad. And there, Sambhaji Maharaj, you might think he would be angry, he would arrest Soyarabai, he would be mean to his little brother and ministers as well, but no. All the ministers who were captured, Sambhaji Maharaj forgave them, he pardoned them, and because those ministers were actually good in work, and Shivaji Maharaj chose them, so Sambhaji Maharaj forgave them, and then he was crowned as the Chhatrapati of the Marathas, and he became Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj. He also didn't do anything to his stepmother and his little brother. He treated them really nicely. So now he's the Chhatrapati of the Marathas. Okay, so this is the phase 1 of this video. This is Sambhaji Maharaj's story. But now let's move north to Rajputana, or modern day Rajasthan. So the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, everybody knows that guy. He was such a cruel guy. Everyone knows. So there was a king in Marwar, which capital is Jodhpur. You can see on the map right here. So he was sent to Afghanistan. Oh yeah, by the way, if you don't know, when Akbar defeated the Rajputs, like Akbar is way before Aurangzeb, he made them his allies or kind of vassals, and the Rajputs used to fight for the Mughals. So Aurangzeb had sent Jaswant Singh, the Raja of Marwar, to crush Afghans in Kabul region. And during that time, Aurangzeb called Prithvi Raj. So he called Prithvi Raj, the son of Jaswant Singh, to Delhi. And over there in the court, Aurangzeb gave Prithvi Raj a gift. And in the gift, that was like a fancy clothing, and it's alleged that there was smallpox in that. And then Prithvi Raj got smallpox and he died. Jaswant Singh got the news and he got so saddened that he died. And there his commander Durgadas Rathore. This guy is gonna be a big figure. So back in Marwar, Aurangzeb took all of Jaswant Singh's family to the capital and captured them, placed them under house arrest, so that he could annex Marwar. But Durgadas Rathore, this guy was such a giga chad. He was so good. He just came back to Marwar, and then he went to the Mughal capital and rescued the family back to Marwar. That is epic. And now the heir of the throne, which means Prithvi Raj's little brother, he was like a baby during this time. So Durgadas Rathore fought a lot in Marwar. Then Aurangzeb sent his son Akbar to suppress the Marwar, Durgadas Rathore and its people. So Akbar was kind of like a moderate guy. Akbar was kind of like Akbar. Akbar is Aurangzeb's son in this. The Mughal Emperor Akbar is a different one. So this Akbar, he was also tolerant and kind of secular like Akbar. He was probably more. So he felt bad when all the destruction was happening in Marwar. And then he got a secret he had a secret meeting with Durgadas Rathore, in which Durgadas Rathore convinced him that he could be the Mughal emperor now. Because even Prince Akbar thought that Aurangzeb's methods were really extreme and cruel. So Durgadas Rathore persuaded him to become the Mughal emperor, and Akbar declared himself as the Mughal emperor, which obviously enraged Aurangzeb, who now... Actually, Aurangzeb now thought that he was cooked, because Durgadas Rathore and Akbar, these guys teamed up. And plus Mewar, the same Mewar in which Maharana Pratap was once the king, was also supporting Marwar and was also giving troops, ammunition, everything to him. So these three big forces were against Aurangzeb now. Aurangzeb thought that if things get worse, then he could actually be cooked. Akbar could actually defeat him and become the emperor. So Aurangzeb was sneaky. He wrote a secret letter to Akbar, which was not intended for Akbar to see it. It was intended that Durgadas Rathore would see it, because in that letter, Aurangzeb wrote stuff it was all along a plan of Akbar and Aurangzeb, that Akbar would bring the Rajputs, and then Aurangzeb and Akbar would betray them in the end time, and then Aurangzeb and Akbar's army would slaughter them. So this letter, it reached to Durgadas Rathore and the other Rajputs. So they obviously abandoned Akbar. Akbar was so confused on why this happened. And then he was escaping for his life in the desert. And then Durgadas Rathore, he found out that it was a plan by Aurangzeb. So Durgadas Rathore, he met Akbar again. And then they talked it out. They became friends again. But the problem was that the other Rajputs were not willing to believe that Akbar was back on their side and he wouldn't betray them. So they decided to go south to the Deccan to none other than the Maratha Empire, now ruled by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. They wanted Sambhaji Maharaj's help to oust Aurangzeb out of the throne, and so that Akbar could become the king. So when they came to the Deccan, for a few days Sambhaji could not meet them. He was busy, obviously. So, but they were like placed in like good places, luxury places, but not as luxurious as a Mughal prince would have. So Akbar there, as he was a Mughal Badshah, he would conduct his own court sometimes. It was not to defy Sambhaji Maharaj, though some Marathas were suspicious. So, and Sambhaji Maharaj had sent Netaji Rao Palkar, who was known as the second Shivaji Maharaj. I'll make a separate video on him soon. He was also a great figure, an interesting figure. So Netaji Rao Palkar, he was converted to Islam, but he reconverted. But Netaji Rao Palkar was in the Mughal army for a long time. So Sambhaji Maharaj he made Netaji Rao Palkar the guy who would look after all of the stuff, all the caring stuff, like the hotels and all that stuff for Akbar. But then Sambhaji Maharaj and Akbar finally met. But before this, something terrible happened. It's not terrible. Guess what happened? Soyarabai and the ministers, they sought the chance. And Sambhaji Maharaj, Akbar and Durgadas Rathore came there so that Sambhaji Maharaj would help them with his army to oust Aurangzeb. But that would be impossible to do because the Mughal army was so ginormous, like 10 times greater than the Maratha army. And Akbar and Durgadas Rathore had only come with only hundreds of troops, only hundreds, and that's not enough. So Soyarabai decided that she told her minister to write a letter to Akbar in which it said that Sambhaji Maharaj will not help you. He will not help his army to he will not help you to oust Aurangzeb out of the throne. But if means her son Rajaram becomes the Chhatrapati, then we will help you. So she wrote that letter to Akbar, but Akbar, being the Giga Chad he is, showed that letter to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Sambhaji Maharaj was livid with anger now. He had forgave these guys he had forgave all of these ministers, but now they're trying to kill him? So Sambhaji Maharaj had enough. He took all of the ministers and he brought them to a corner of a fort, and there they were pushed off the fort and they were executed. They died, obviously, because they fell off the fort. So that's what Sambhaji Maharaj did. And after that, Soyarabai, losing all hope of her son being the king, suicided, and then she died. But still Sambhaji Maharaj, he knew his little brother was good, so he did not do anything to him. Those two brothers actually loved each other a lot. So this is what happened. Also, I forgot to talk about Kavi Kalash, Sambhaji Maharaj's best friend, the royal poet and advisor. He also had a huge role in Sambhaji Maharaj's decisions. Wait, I forgot to talk about what happened next to Akbar and Durgadas Rathore. So then Aurangzeb immediately came to the Deccan with a huge, almost the whole Mughal force, with one objective: to crush Sambhaji Maharaj and end the Hindavi Swarajya, aka the Maratha Empire. So Durgadas Rathore and Akbar fought alongside Sambhaji Maharaj during this time. But the problem was now that Akbar, he had enough. He thought that this plan isn't working. So Akbar was given a ship by, I think it was the English, he bought a ship from the English, and then he went to Persia, and after that his story is unknown. Because he had enough of the Deccan and enough fighting for the Marathas, and he thought that this plan isn't working, so he tried to do something. He tried to become allies with Safavid Persia or Iran, but that didn't work out. So he spent the rest of his days in Persia. And Durgadas Rathore, he went back to Marwar because the family was still not safe over there because the heir was a baby. So Durgadas Rathore went back to Marwar, and he fought there for so many years. He fought for a long time. So that's what happened. So the dates, Akbar like departed for Persia in 1686, yeah. And Durgadas Rathore, he left for Marwar the same year. And Sambhaji Maharaj, then, to put it briefly, he fought really well against the Mughals. Even though he had such a small army and such less resources, he fought really exponentially well against the Mughals. But unfortunately, in the end, his location, when he and Kavi Kalash were going through a forest with a few men, he was betrayed, and his location was disclosed to the Mughals by none other than his wife's brother, Ganoji Shirke, and also his wife's brother's brother, Kanoji Shirke. So these two were the traitors. So Sambhaji Maharaj, he never lost a battle, but he lost to treachery in the end. So the Mughal forces surrounded Sambhaji Maharaj. He fought bravely, tried to escape, but that failed. And then Sambhaji Maharaj was taken to Aurangzeb, where Aurangzeb gave 3 conditions to him. It's mentioned in this video. Sambhaji Maharaj refused to, and then he was tortured. He and Kavi Kalash, his best friend, were tortured for 40 days. Undescribable torture, by the way. And then they were executed, and their bodies were dumped into the Bhima River. So guys, that's what happened to Sambhaji Maharaj. But after him, later on, many years later, Bajirao would come in the Maratha Empire, and he would destroy the Mughals, make them a small vassal of the Marathas. But we're gonna make a new video on Bajirao. So guys, this video is already pretty long. So bye bye. Have a nice day. Shreyansh Tiwari out.